My cheating ex-fiancé asked me to photograph her wedding, so I took my revenge. 28M, never thought I'd be writing this, but here we are. This happened last month, and I'm still processing it all. 3 years ago, I was engaged to Sarah, 26F. We'd been together since college, and I genuinely thought she was the one. I'm a professional photographer specializing in weddings and events. It's not just my job, it's my passion. Sarah always supported my work, or so I thought. 2 months before our wedding, I came home early from a shoot to surprise her with dinner. Instead, I found her in our bed with my best man, Jake. The betrayal was devastating. Not only had I lost my fiancé, but my best friend since childhood had stabbed me in the back. The breakup was messy. Sarah kept the ring, family heirloom from my grandmother, and most of our shared assets because technically we weren't married. She claimed Jake understood her better and that I was married to my camera. The worst part? Half her mutual friends took their side, saying I was always working and neglecting her. I'd rebuilt my life, moved across town, and my photography business was thriving. I was finally healing when I got the most absurd phone call in my life. It was Sarah. "Hi, I know this is weird, but I have a huge favor to ask." Apparently, Jake had proposed with my grandmother's ring, which still makes my blood boil, and they were planning their dream wedding. But here's the kicker. Their original photographer had just canceled 2 weeks before the wedding due to a family emergency. "You're the best photographer I know," she said. "We'll pay double your usual rate." I almost hung up, but something made me ask, "Why would you possibly think I'd want to photograph your wedding?" "Because you're professional, and we really need you. Please." Now, I want to be clear. I'm not normally a vindictive person, but something about the audacity of this request, combined with seeing my grandmother's ring in their engagement photos on social media, triggered something in me. I quoted them triple my usual rate, $6,000 instead of $2,000. They agreed immediately. I accepted the job. I arrived professional as always, with my assistant Mike, who knew the whole story and was barely containing his excitement. Sarah looked stunning. I'll give her that. Jake looked nervous, good. I photographed everything. The getting ready shots, the ceremony, the reception. I was the perfect professional. Friendly, efficient, capturing all their precious moments. But here's what they didn't know. I have a very particular skill set when it comes to photography. 2 weeks later, I delivered their wedding gallery. 500 plus photos of their special day. Here's where my revenge was served ice cold. Every single photo was technically perfect, but subtly sabotaged in ways only I would know how to do. All the romantic shots were slightly out of focus in a way that looked accidental. The lighting in every group photo made everyone look washed out and tired. I captured Jake's nervous, sweating in excruciating detail. Every photo of Sarah had her mid-blink, mid-word, or with unflattering expressions. The ring shots? Mysteriously, my grandmother's ring looked dull and cheap in every single one. I included several photos where you could see Jake checking out other women during the ceremony. The first dance photos captured them stepping on each other's feet. Family photos somehow all had someone looking away or making weird faces. But the masterpiece? During the reception, Sarah's drunk aunt had pulled me aside and told me all about how Sarah had been cheating with Jake for over a year before I found out, and how the family felt terrible about it. She had no idea I was her ex-fiancé. I made sure to capture that conversation on audio. The photo gallery I delivered was bad enough that they need to pay another photographer thousands to reshoot everything if they wanted decent wedding photos. But I wasn't done. I included a bonus folder labeled behind the scenes with a note. Some candid moments I thought you'd appreciate. In that folder, photos of Jake obviously checking out the maid of honor. Sarah's aunt's drunken confession about the affair timeline. Jake's groomsman talking about his bachelor party where he almost hooked up with someone. A photo of Sarah crying in the bathroom after her mom made a comment about settling. Sarah called me screaming 2 days later. Apparently, they'd shared the gallery with family, and the behind-the-scenes folder had caused some issues. "You ruined our wedding photos. And that audio of my aunt? You can't use that." "Actually," I said calmly, "you hire me to document your wedding day honestly." I delivered exactly that. The contract you signed gives me full creative control over the final product. And the audio? One party consent state, remember? You learned that in your business law class. She threatened to sue. I reminded her that she'd signed a contract stating she was satisfied with my artistic vision, regardless of the final product, and that all payments were non-refundable. But here's the real kicker. Word spread in our photography community about what had happened. Not the revenge part, just that Sarah had hired her ex-fiancé to photograph her wedding to her affair partner. The sheer audacity of it became legendary. 3 months later, Jake's mom somehow got hold of those audio recordings. Turns out, Sarah had told different stories to different people about how their relationship started. Jake's family learned she'd been cheating for over a year, not the "we gradually fell in love" story they'd been told. Jake's mom demanded Sarah return my grandmother's ring, since it was obtained through deception. When Sarah refused, Jake's mom threatened to share the audio with Sarah's employer. She works in HR, and this kind of ethical issue could cost her the job. Sarah finally returned the ring through a lawyer. Last I heard, Jake and Sarah were in couples counseling, and several family members had gone no contact with them. The ex-fiancé who cheated with my best man hired me to photograph her wedding to said best man. I accepted, delivered technically perfect but subtly terrible photos, and included audio evidence of family drama that eventually led to them returning my family heirloom and facing consequences for their deception.